Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing by and welcome to the first quarter 2019 China XD Plastics Co. Limited earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. After the speaker's presentation, there will be a question and answer session. To ask a question during the session, you will need to press star 1 on your telephone. Please be advised that today's conference is being recorded. I would now like to hand the conference over to your host today, China XD Plastics IR team, Zhao Jiewen. Thank you. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for the China XD Plastics fourth quarter 2019 financial results conference call. Joining me on the call today are Mr. Jie Han, Chairman and CEO, Mr. Qinwei Ma, Chief Operating Officer and Chief Technology Officer, Mr. Taylor Zhang, Chief Financial Officer. Earlier today, China XD Plastics issued a press release announcing the fourth quarter 2019 results. Before management's presentation, I would like to refer to the safe harbor statements in connection with today's conference call and remind our listeners that management's prepared remarks during the call may contain forward-looking statements which are subject to risks and uncertainties, and that management may take additional forward-looking statements in response to your questions. All statements other than statements of historical fact contained are forward-looking statements, including but not limited to the company's growth potential in international markets, the effectiveness and profitability of the company's product diversification, the impact of the company's product mix shift to more advanced products and related pricing policies, the volatility of the company's operating results and financial condition, the company's projection of performance in 2019, and other risks detailed in the company's filings with the SEC and available on its website at www.sec.gov. These forward-looking statements involve known and unknown risks and uncertainties and are based on current expectations, assumptions, estimates, and projections about the company and the industry. The company therefore claims the protection of the safe harbor for forward-looking statements that is contained in the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Actual results may differ from those discussed today, and we refer you to a more detailed discussion for the risks and uncertainties in the company's filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission. To supplement the financial results presented in accordance with the U.S. GAAP, management will make reference to earnings before interest expense, income tax, depreciation, and amortization, which we refer to as EBITDA. EBITDA is a non-GAAP financial measure reconciled from net income, which the company believes to provide meaningful additional information to better understand its operating performance. In table reconciling net income to EBITDA can be found on the earnings press release issued earlier today. I would now like to turn the call over to our Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Han. Mr. Han will be speaking in Chinese, and I will translate his opening remarks into English. 韩总，请继续。
公司2019年结果与中国汽车行业总体回升缓慢相一致，受中美经贸摩擦、环保标准更加严格、新能源补贴大幅削减等因素影响，中国汽车行业承受较大压力。国内市场消费者需求低迷，中国信达主动调整，积极应对。自2019年2季度起，公司持续在境内通过推出高售价、低定价的产品，销售高价原材料的营销策略，满足增长的客户需求。2019年人民币销售价格总体提升 45.9%， 部分抵消销量下降的 18.8% 的影响。我们对全年销售增长 13.6% 对业绩感到满意。与此同时，公司其他领域订单也实现快速增长，取得境内几大销售区域产品销售稳步上升。
Our fiscal 2019 results were consistent with the overall slow recovery of China auto industry. The trade tension between China and United States, the stricter environmental protection standard, and the larger reduction of subsidies on new energy vehicles have generated a lot of pressure on the entire auto industry in China, resulting in depressed domestic demand. China XD has taken proactive measures to respond to this change. Since the second quarter of 2019, we have achieved revenue by increased sale of new categories of higher-end products of PA66 and PA6, produced with high-price raw material with higher selling price in domestic market, and sales of high-price semi-finished goods in domestic market to accelerate inventory turnover and replenish operating funds. We are pleased to see an overall increase of 45.9% in the average RMB selling price of our products, partially offset the decreased sales volume of 18.8% for the year-end December 31st, 2019. At the same time, the company has achieved a rapid increase of customer orders in non-automobile applications, evidenced by our stable sales growth in several domestic regions.
进入2020，由于受新冠病毒疫情影响，中国汽车行业的产销出现了大幅下滑，国内汽车行业部分零部件供应风险加大，因此中国新达在疫情中积极响应，转型开始生产疫情所需产品，如护目镜和口罩所需原材料，为缓解疫情出力，以及降低国际疫情对国内汽车行业带来的负面影响。
For 2020, the COVID-19 has caused a sharp fall in production and sales of the Chinese automotive industry, with the risk of supply disruption of some parts of the domestic automobile industry increased. As a result, China XD has responded to start producing raw materials for PPE, such as goggles and masks, to help alleviate the pandemic to our communities and mitigate the negative impact of world pandemic on Chinese auto industry.
我们计划在2020年第二季度完成黑龙江基地10万吨工程塑料升级改造项目，并在2020年第三季度完成黑龙江秦岭路和江南中湾路2个工厂设备升级和大修项目，实现黑龙江基地的产能重新回到39万吨。与此同时，我们计划在2020年第三季度完成四川工厂剩余10条生产线的设备安装，实现四川基地产能30万吨。随着迪拜基地产能逐步提升，以及销售高端产品为目标，公司有信心在更多领域和市场获得进一步的发展。
We are committed to complete industry project for upgrading existing equipment for 100,000 metric tons of engineering plastics by the end of second quarter of 2020, and our Qinling Road project and Jiangnan Road project for equipment upgrade and factory revamping by the end of the third quarter of 2020, thus bringing the production capacity in Heilongjiang campus back to 390,000 metric tons. At the same time, we expect to complete additional 10 production lines. our Sichuan plant by the end of the third quarter of 2020. Thus, to bring the total capacity of Sichuan base to 300,000 metric tons. Together with the production capacity ramp up in Dubai, we will continue to remain our ability to make further inroads into more specialized high-end products for various important new markets.
我们将继续优化管理结构，提高管理效率，同时有信心通过与国内大型银行的合作，成功实施多地域和领域的扩张战略，在更多领域和市场获得进一步的发展。我们对核心的市场定位及不断扩大的发展平台充满信心。
We will continue to optimize our management structure and enhance our operating efficiency, and we are confident through our cooperation with Chinese big banks to succeed companies' expansion strategy in multiple regions and sectors, and to be confident with our core market positioning and expand platform for growth.
现在我把会议交给张大赫，我们的首席财务官，来为大家介绍公司的财务状况。大赫。
With that, I will now turn the call over to Taylor Zhang, our CFO, to walk you through our financials. Taylor?
Thank you, Ms. Han, and thank you everyone for joining the call today. Before I review the numbers, let me remind you that all figures I discuss are for this reporting period, the first quarter of 2019, unless I state otherwise. Additionally, any year-over-year comparison is to the first quarter of 2018, and any sequential comparison is to the third quarter of 2019. So let's go over our first quarter results. Revenues were $310.5 million for the first quarter of 2019, compared to $349.8 million for the same period last year, representing a decrease of $39.3 million, or 11.2%. The year-over-year decrease was primarily as a combined result of 46.3% decrease in sales volume, a depreciation of RMB against US dollar by 4.2%, and partially offset by a 69.5% increase in average RMB selling price of our product as compared to those of last year. In domestic markets, for the 3 months period ended December 31st, 2019, revenues from domestic market decreased by $41.5 million, or 12.4%, compared with that in the same period last year, as a combined result of a decrease of 47% in sales volume, the depreciation of RMB against US dollars by 4.2%, and partially offset by an increase of 69.5% in the average RMB selling price of our products, as compared with those of last year. According to China Association of Automobile Manufacturers, during the first quarter of 2019, the decline of China's auto production and sales continued to narrow, but the overall market rebound is slow, witnessed by an increase of 0.03% in auto production and decrease of 0.03% in auto sales, respectively, compared to the same period in 2018. Though the company kept its positive efforts to expand our marketing areas and customer bases and to meet their new requirements in domestic markets, the company has achieved sales growth of 232.1% in South China and 6.7% in Central China. We still have sales decrease of 30.3% in Northeast China, 18.7% in North China, 16.1% in Southwest China, and 9.5% in East China. As for the RMB selling price, the increase of 69.5% was mainly due to the increased sales of new categories of high-end products of PA66 and PA6, produced with high-priced raw materials with higher selling price in domestic market, and sales of high-priced semi-finished goods in domestic markets during the 3 months period ended December 31st, 2019. In overseas markets, overseas sales were $16.9 million, accounting for 5.4% of total sales for the first quarter of 2019, as compared to $15 million and accounting for 4.3% of total sales for the same period last year. After a successful trial production at our production base in Dubai in November 2018, the company has established business relationships with new customers in UAE and India and shipped products to end users in Europe and Southeast Asia. We are optimistic about the prospects of our business expansion overseas. Gross profits was $43.7 million for the first quarter of 2019 compared to $62.4 million for the same period of 2018, representing a decrease of $18.7 million or 30%. Gross margin was 14.1% compared to 17.8% in the first quarter of 2018, primarily due to the implementation of low price strategy on higher end products to penetrate new markets. G&A expenses were $14.8 million for the first quarter of 2019, compared to $8.6 million for the same period of 2018, representing an increase of $6.2 million or 72.1%. The increase was primarily due to the increase of professional fees, salary, welfare, traveling, and transportation and miscellaneous expenses. R&D expenses were $10.8 million for the first quarter of 2019, compared to $26.9 million for the same period of 2018, representing a decrease of $16.1 million or 59.9%. The decrease was mainly due to the decrease of $15.9 million in raw materials consumption. As of December 31st, 2019, the number of ongoing research and development products was 357. Operating loss was $45.3 million for the first quarter of 2019, compared to $24.1 million of operating income for the same period last year, representing a decrease of $69.4 million or 288%. This substantial decrease is primarily due to the decreased gross profits by 30%, the provision of doubtful accounts of $62.8 million for a UAE customer, and higher G&A expenses, partially offset by the lower selling expenses and R&D expenses. Income tax expense was $2.2 million for the first quarter of 2019, representing an effective income tax rate of negative 3.5%, compared to income tax benefit of $0.5 million in the same period last year, representing an effective income tax rate of negative 3.6%. The increase of effective income tax rates was primarily due to the increased operating loss in Dubai Shinda. Net loss was $65 million for the first quarter of 2019 compared to a net income of $13 million for the same period last year, representing a decrease of $78 million or 600%. Basic and diluted loss per share for the first quarter of 2019 were both 97 cents compared to 20 cents per share for the same period of 2018. The average number of shares used in the computation of the basic and diluted losses per share for the 3 months ended December 31st, 2019 was 66.9 million compared to 50.5 million shares of earnings per share in the prior year period. Earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization was negative $27.3 million for the first quarter of 2019, compared to $38.4 million for the same period of 2018, representing a decrease of $65.7 million or 171.1%. For a detailed reconciliation of EBITDA, a non-GAAP measure to the nearest GAAP equivalent, Please see the financial tables at the end of the press release issued earlier today. Now let's turn to the balance sheets. As of December 31st, 2019, the company had $228.4 million in the total amount of cash and cash equivalents and restricted cash, a decrease of $138.6 million or 37.8% as compared to $367 million as of December 31st, 2018. Working capital was negative $14.1 million and current ratio was 1 as compared to the current ratio of 0.9 as of December 31st, 2018. Stockholders' equity as of December 31st, 2019 was $336.4 million, an increase of 11.7% as compared to $748.9 million as of December 31st, 2018, mainly due to the conversion of CXDC preferred stock into common on September 26, 2019. As a result of the outbreak of COVID-19 in the PRC, China auto industry production and sales drastically decreased by 33.4% and 31.14% for the first 4 months of 2020. According to the China Association of Automobile Manufacturers, it has a ripple effect and impact throughout China auto supply chain, including the company. Due to the fact that the company had temporarily closed its manufacturing facilities and offices in the PRC, in accordance with the requirements of the PRC government, the occurrence of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has had a material adverse effect on our business operations. In light of these circumstances and ongoing uncertainties, the company will not be able to forecast our financial guidance for fiscal 2020 until further notice. Now, before we open the call to your questions, I would like to note that for any questions directed to the management in China, I'll translate both their questions and their answers. If you want to ask a question in Chinese, please also ask it in English for the benefit of our other listeners. Please also know that we would only be able to respond to questions about our financial and operating results. For other matters, including the going private offer, we refer you to our already issued press releases. We'll not be able to respond to questions that are directed to the principals of the going private offer about the proposed transaction. With that, we will now open the call to your question, operator.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you wish to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel your request, please press the pound or hash key. Your first question comes from Matt Lawson. Please ask your question.
Okay, thanks for taking my question. I've got a lot of them because there's a lot of things going on. I'll start with a positive. You guys crushed your guidance. You did a lot better than your expectation. The last conference call, you had guidance for revenues, the top line of 1.1 to 1.3. I pointed out you had already done more than 1.1 after 3 quarters, so it was a little strange, just like this quarter's strange. You ended up with 1.448. So you beat your guidance significantly on the top line. The glaring problem is, of course, the large uncollectible, as you call it, bill for some customer in the UAE. All right, you must have known that was uncollectible during the 4th quarter, and that actually in December is when you were able to close on the very, very important financing. So the banks were willing to lend you money for the first time. These state-owned enterprise banks even though they knew that there was supposedly some sort of collection problem. So to me, that's a one-off event. And can you tell us the status of that loan now? Okay, it's in June now, and that was uncollectible as of the end of the quarter. It kind of paints the quarter negatively, but if it's a one-off event, it really doesn't matter going forward, okay? So how does that stand now?
Hi, Matt. This is Taylor. Thank you for the call. Let me translate your question
hi,
so our management China can respond. You're welcome.韩总，大家好。这个问题呢是那个 Matthew Lawson 的问题。他呢首先是讲，他的问题呢是说，我们这个，坏账计提产生的这个损失，他觉得的话呢，首先这个背景呢是我们在这个去年的年时候完成了。那他觉得话那个时候的话呢，可能银行的话呢是已经大概的话呢了解这个情况，但是呢银行的话呢还是最后把这个贷款放下来，他觉得的话呢是不是意味着这个情况的话呢是一个一次性或者是这个短期的问题那他的问题呢就是说我们现在这个坏账计提或者这个应收款的话呢是一个什么情况，我们预计的话呢会有什么样一个解决方式。
大哥，这个音不太好，我没大听懂他的问题，你能再重述一下吗？
可以，现在听得清楚吗，韩总？
可以
他这个问题呢是说这个我们这个迪拜辛达产生了一个应收款这样一个坏账计提，那这样的话呢影响了整个4季度的一个损益，也包括全年。这个背景呢，他是觉得我们在去年年末的话呢，做了一笔银行的融资，那银行的话呢，他感觉应该是也是对这个情况会多少有些了解。那他的问题呢，就是说银行的话呢，还是最后的话呢，把这个贷款放下来，可能觉得这个事情的话呢，应该只是一次性这样一个性质。那他的问题呢，最终就是说，我们这个应收款现在的话是个什么情况？那我们未来的话呢，会有一个什么样一个解决的方式？
这个第一呢，这个坏账计提是按照这个审计意见计提了这个坏账。那么第二呢，就是我们对这个应收款呢，这个还是持续的努力，而且呢还是有信心呢，把这个在一定时限内呢，这个收回。那么第三呢，好像这个跟银行，我看好像没有什么必然的关联性。
好了，Hey man, this is Taylor. So your answer comes from our chairman, Mr. Jihan. So first of all, we accrue such loss based on the U.S. GAAP, and also obviously the number were audited by our auditor, KPMG. Secondly, we still continue our efforts in collection, and we think sometime later this year we'll be able to collect the outstanding amount. Lastly, he doesn't necessarily believe this is related to the bank or the bank consortium.
No, what I'm saying, Carl, will you answer my question?
Yes, it will.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So yes, we view this as a one-off event.
Okay. Then if you, first of all, it's still unclear. I mean, the sale to some customer in the UAE basically was twice what you did for the whole year. And so whoever made that sale and approved it, you got to question, what sort of due diligence they did. But it sounds to me that you're going to collect it, so you're going to write that loss back up this year. All right. So by a one-off event, you just dumped it into the fourth quarter, and the numbers look worse than they are because you're going to be able to recoup that and put it back on as an income item for this year. And the banks lent you the money knowing that, and that's the critical thing because they wouldn't be lending you money for the first time if you were showing some sort of shortfall of that magnitude. But your revenues grew dramatically. Your EBITDA was still very strong, and for long-term shareholders, the key is how's the company going to be doing going forward. Mr. Han obviously believes it'll be fine because he's trying to buy the company. And I know we're not supposed to ask any questions regarding the offer, but does Mr. Han know? I mean, I know he knows this, but does he understand that when he makes an offer, after not even reporting 20F or anything like that, at a cyclical low, that's like 4 or 5% above the average trading price at $1.10. It is not only insulting, all right, because the offer could have, even if he had offered $1.30 or $1.40, it still would be insulting, but at least it would be 30 or 40% above the price. And he must realize that shareholders would find that completely unacceptable, particularly if they've been holding the shares all these times. And if you're going to be recovering the unpaid balance, then you're looking at a company that he's made an offer at less than 1 time's earnings. It's certainly a lot less than EBITDA. Okay, if you come in at 145, even with that poor fourth quarter showing, the $1.10 times 66 million shares is about a $70-some-odd million. It's 1/2 of EBITDA. So it just makes no sense, and it's inappropriate. And shareholders are rightfully upset about that sort of notion. All right, so he should know that, and he knows that anyway. All right, so it's something that in the United States here, nobody would even try because they would realize that there would be a class action lawsuit would be filed. So what is the current book value of the company? Can you give me the shareholder equity, please?
Okay, Matt, let me translate your question first. 韩总你好，刚才那个麦的话呢，他其实又说了一下刚才也是比较长的一个对话，我现在给您翻译一下。
说大点声。
他首先说呢，就是说好的，现在清楚吗？
听到说吧。
好的。他说呢，就说他感觉的话呢，就是之前的话呢，主要的问题呢，就说关于退市这个事情。他说，对于很多长期的投资者来讲，这个退市的价钱的话呢，是非常的低，而且的话呢，您是在这个公司公布年报之前的话呢，做了这样的一个公告。他觉得的话呢，首先这个价格的话呢，1块钱是1块1毛1块1毛的话呢，是对很多对投资者的话呢是有一些很不尊敬就算的话呢是1块3或者1块5的话呢，其实还是很低，这个对投资者来讲的话呢是没法接受的。虽然的话呢1块3、1块5的话呢也会是一个目前水平的一个30%或者50%更高。他说美国的投资者的话呢，有不满情绪的话呢，也是很正常的。因为在美国的话呢，美国公司的话呢， 肯定不会这样去做，因为这样的话呢会引发比如说像这个集体诉讼或者种种对公司不利的一些事件发生，那他的话呢就是想这个了解一下，还有就是说这个我们之前这个坏账计提啊，那这个的话呢，如果说我们可以在今年的话呢可以收回来，那这样的话呢这笔相应金额的话呢也会重新再计提回来，所以他觉得公司的这个价值呢从收入各方面还有力道的话呢，其实目前的话呢还不错，所以感觉这个整个这个退市的要约的话呢是非常非常不合理当然他也了解您的话呢可能是没有办法对于这个退市要约的话呢给出任何的一些意见。
那个首先呢说这个关于这个价格我想呢这个我们出于公允而且呢结合这个企业现状，那么第二呢就是说我们收回这个预收账款也是企业这个认为能做到的数据是公开的，这个想法呢我们认为也能够变成这个现实。至于这个价格呢，我想这个也非常感谢他对我的理解但是从我这来讲这个我提出这个价格实际呢就我本人也承受了很大的压力。
Okay. Hi, Mike. So first of all, you asked the shareholder equity value as of the end of last year. It was $836.4 million. And also your answer comes from our chairman, Mr. Ji Hong. He wants to thank you for your understanding of his position as regard to the going private offer. So he wants to tell you that it's not an easy decision and there's also pressure associated with it. So as regarding the collection from the UAE customer, we believe that we'll be able to recoup resolve it sometime later this year.
Right, you already said that, but so if you're going to collect that, then the loss last year, or the near loss, since you only made, the loss that occurred in the fourth quarter really isn't a loss, all right? It's almost as if it was a new customer. Whoever made the sale to that customer, had to have done enough due diligence because it represented over half your foreign sales. And it doesn't make sense you would make a sale to a new customer like that and not get paid. So it's almost as if it's purposely been delayed so that the numbers would look bad. I have to tell you that, all right? So now after he makes an offer for about the value of the whole sale, $1.10 times 66 million shares, it's about $69 million, $68 million, all right, or $70 million. That's the whole amount of the uncollectible that is now going to be collectible this year. So it just doesn't look very good. And now he wants to buy the company. So at the lowest price that it's traded at since he came public, brought it public essentially. So anybody valuing the company would have to write the value back up based on the collectability of that sale. And since your margins have gone up dramatically because of the higher cost of the goods sold, then the company going forward is going to be significantly more profitable. Your current book value, by the way, I'll point out, is about 12 times what he's interested in buying the company at. Does that seem, like a fair assessment of the value of the company? 12 times what the offer is? So, these are things that just don't make any sense, all right, other than that the company got some the market knows the company got some very important financing. Your revenues beat by a wide margin your projections for the year. The only reason you're showing reduced income is because of this one sale that you're still not being very clear on. It's some new customer we don't even know who it is, but that customer is going to be paying you back anyway, and the banks that lent you the money know it. Otherwise, they would have never closed on the loan. So I just want Mr. Han to be very aware that this is not lost on investors, and if there's any chance to try and take the company private at $1.10, it's not going to work from the viewpoint of shareholders that are not part of the consortium, because there's no point in agreeing to a deal at this level because it's such a low price. One would rather take their chance in courts or just not voting for it to go through. So I'll just leave you all with that. There's tremendous disappointment on my part, and as well as investors that I represent, that they feel that this is not a very honest or ethical maneuver by Mr. Han. He should know that. I think he does. He probably doesn't care, but it needs to be said, and I'm using my opportunity on the phone call right now to say that. So I'll let somebody else express their opinion. I'll be courteous and say thank you very much for the time.
Sure, Matt, thank you. And just want to comment, obviously, as to the valuation of the company, the market has a value on it. In addition, the special committee has their counsel advisor, and who will be looked after on behalf of the special committee for the shareholders.
Well, as long as you brought him up, the last time they made an offer for the company in February of 2017, you hired Duff & Phelps, but you never told us, even though you had been asked a number of times on conference calls, what number Duff & Phelps had come up with when you had made the offer years ago. You just never told us. So, when are we going to find out what value the company is assessed at by Duff & Phelps this time around? Are we going to get an opportunity to get this independent appraisal?
So I think, Matt, it's very important to note that Duff & Phelps, they are hired by the special committee. They are not working for the company. So we don't have any dialogue or communication with them regarding the going private offer. So I'm sure they're a reputable firm. At the appropriate time, they will make the right action or announcement, or at least advice to the special committee.
All right. Well, like they did last time, I guess. All right. Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you, Matt.
Once again, if you wish to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. Your next question comes from Hao Feng from IA Investment Management. Please ask your question.
Hi, thanks for taking the call. I just have a quick question on your current operations, if you can comment on them. Obviously, Heilongjiang is an area that's still being affected in China, and that's where your main production facility is. Are you currently running for operations other than PP? has car production restarted in China? If not, do you have an estimate of when you'll be able to start producing again? And also maybe just comment on the situation, and if you can comment on your profitability of PP production as well. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Hao. Let me translate the question to the management. 韩总，大家好。他这个问题的话呢，就是想了解一下我们公司能够介绍一下目前我们公司运营情况。特别是我们这个现在的话呢，整个工厂复工的情况。同时的话呢，也包括我们这个抗疫的一些防疫物资所用的材料这些 PPE。那这些这个材料这些产品的话呢，他们的这个整个一个毛利或者是这个利润情况是什么样？此外的话呢，他也说到，就说这个我们目前的话呢，黑龙江应该在国内的话呢，还是这个受疫情目前影响的话呢，还是比较厉害的地方。那这样的话呢，他想知道一下，就还是说知道一下我们现在一个公司一个复工还有运营的情况。
这个电话这个声音还是什么大哥？你再还得重说一下。
韩总，现在听到吗？现在清楚吗？
可以啊。
好的。这个投资者呢，他的问题是说，他了解到我们这个目前黑龙江的话呢还是受到疫情的影响，在中国。那他想知道我们目前公司的运营情况我们这个整个工厂。第一点。第二点呢，就是说这个我们目前的话呢，也在公告里面，新闻公告里面也提到了，我们目前呢生产一些材料的话是给一些抗疫物资所用的，像护目镜或者口罩。那他想了解一下这个这些产品的话呢，他们的利润的率的情况是什么样？
现在是这样，这个目前黑龙江的疫情呢，这个他可能也知道，除了武汉以后黑龙江疫情呢还在持续，目前呢是刚刚好转。那么2月份、3月份这个公司几乎是这个停产状态，受到这个影响非常大。基于什么呢？这个汽车也在国内呢也是有一个阶段是停产状态。3月份呢，公司呢及时这个调整了策略。那么现在生产呢这个医疗大健康领域的这个，例如这个熔喷料，就做口罩的这种材料。例如呢，生产这个护目镜的材料，甚至护目镜那么呢，这个4月份呢已经开始显现但是我们现在能达到同期的这个销售呢，大约是60%，60%到65%这样未来的预期呢，还是蛮有挑战性的。
韩总，您能再讲一下，就是他也问到，就是我们讲这个防疫物资比如熔喷布或者口罩所用的材料，他们的这个利润情况，比如说毛利率大概在什么水平？
它的毛利率在4月份呢，要达到这个60%，那么呢，现在5月份呢，可能要达到30%，这个差距还是蛮大的。但是呢，稳定下来以后呢，保证在18%以上，应该是没问题的。
好的。Hi, Hao. So here's the answer from our chairman, Mr. Han. So as you correctly noted, Heilongjiang has a resurged of confirmed cases compared to the rest of China. So it was worsening before came better. So during which we have closed down the factory in February and March. So right now we are operating at approximately 60% of our capacity for the same period last year. As for your question regarding the margin situation with PPE materials, for example, we have materials for metal-blown fabrics. So the margin has fluctuated a lot recently. That's not only in China but also in many areas in the world. For example, in April, the gross margin was approximately 50%, and then in May, it came down to 30%. But anyway, in any event, over the long term, we believe still a good business. So the gross margin probably will be normalized at the level of 18% or better.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. Maybe just a note for Taylor that maybe when you issue Q1 results or guidance, if you ever do, we would just like to point out the percentage of PP product sales, just so we know how relevant it is compared to traditional sales maybe split up. And we just have a follow-up questions on maybe your capacity expansion and CapEx. Obviously, in your 10K, you had around $230 million of cash on hand, but you also had commitments near the end of the fourth quarter for your one expansion. So let me just discuss about, do you plan on delaying some of those projects to make sure you go through 2020 with a healthier balance sheet? We know the company has a lot of debt already, so I'm very concerned about investing so massively in the year of uncertainty. And maybe can you manage comment on maybe the cash burn that we expect this year, or do you expect maybe positive cash flow?
Okay, sure. Let me also translate your question.
Thank you.
韩总大家好，他呢这个有一个另外一个问题呢，就是说第一呢，首先这个建议呢，我们在第一季度我们在公布财报的时候，可以把 PPE， 比如说它这个盈利情况这样的话呢去介绍一下因为这个的话呢也是目前可能是整个世界一个比较关注的一个行业这第一点。第二点的话呢，就想了解一下，听到吗，韩总？
听了，你大点声，对。
好的。他说首先的话呢，就是他有一个建议就是说我们在第一季度的时候的话呢，可以把这个我们像这个抗疫物资所用的材料把它在新闻稿的话呢，可以稍微提一下，就说这个大概是个什么情况，它的这个盈利情况，利润率是一个什么水平这个是他第一个建议。那另外的话呢他想了解一下我们今年整个一个资本开支的一个情况大概的话呢，我们他也了解到我们在这个国内这个黑龙江、四川的话呢是有一些资本开支这样一个计划。他觉得的话呢，他是比较担心的话呢，在目前一个经济还有行业的形势那这种情况的话呢，这个公司的话呢也是有很多的这个负债那他想了解公司的话呢，是不是会把这个资本开支的话呢稍微放缓另外的话呢如果是这种情况的话呢，那也想了解一下公司的话呢，这个今年的话呢，资本开支的话呢，大概是在一个什么水平？
那个他这个建议我们这个就非常好的建议，我们会在这个因为这个疫情就是今年发生嘛，我们想要也在一季度的财报当中呢会及时披露的那么第二个呢，就是我们的资本支出这个四川呢基本上已经完成大部分还有一些这个尾款。目前就公司财力这个应该能够这个自我形成应该没什么问题。 那么第三个呢，他可能关注到我们黑龙江的这个资本支出。那这种资本支出呢，是在呢有呢这个金融机构支持前提下，我们才进行。如果说没有这个资本支出，这个金融机构支持的，我们这个资本支出是要放缓的。总体来讲，他的建议呢，我们的管理层呢，这个也都是这个想法啊，这个建议非常好。
Hi, Hao. So first of all, Chairman Han, I want to thank you for your suggestion, and we will do that in the following quarter when we release our results regarding the description of PPE materials. Secondly, for CapEx this year, we'll monitor our cash position, our cash flow, as well as potential additional financing when we proceeding with our CapEx. So we will conduct our CapEx carefully.
Okay. And maybe just a final comment on the offer. I know you guys can't comment on it, but I mean, I think a lot of minority shareholders share the, let's say, the stress over the pricing, but we'll also appreciate what Chairman Han has done with his family support over the last year in supporting the company with liquidity. And we hope that if it comes down to a vote, that like the last offer, he'll allow minority shareholders to vote on the proposal without using his majority stake, obviously, on the offer. And that's it for me today. Thank you.
All right, thank you. 好，韩总，另外的话呢，他只是这个做了一个评论啊，他说，当然他知道，您的话呢是没有办法对于私有化这个话题的话呢进行任何的回答或者是回复，啊，他只是讲的话呢，就说这个，他也理解之前的话呢，您包括您的这个家人的话呢，对公司的话呢都是对公司流动性啊、资金的话呢做了一些支持。此外的话呢，说如果说这个最后的话呢，到了一个投票这样一个环节的话呢，这个小股东的话呢，这个目前的话肯定是他觉得话呢可能会有一些障碍去这个投票的话顺利通过。
喂。
韩总，他刚才只是这个做了一个评论。他说如果是这个。最终投票的话呢，那因为这个小股东就说这个是在非关联股东里面的多数需要通过，那他觉得的话呢，这个投票到时候结果的话呢还是很不确定的。
好，谢谢他。
Once again, if you wish to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. As there are no further questions, I will now hand the conference back to Zhao Jiewen for closing remarks. Zhao Jie, please.
On behalf of China XD Plastic, we want to thank you for your interest and participation in this call. If you would like to speak with us further, please call either myself or Taylor in New York's office. The contact numbers for all of us are listed at the end of the press release. Thank you.